So, southerly 5 or 6, occasionally 7 in west, rain at times, moderate or good. Lundy, south or southwest 3 or 4, increasing 5, mainly fair, moderate or good. Fastnet, southerly 5 or 6, occasional rain, moderate or good. Irish Sea, variable becoming southerly 3 or 4, increasing 5, rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor at first. Shannon Rockall, southeasterly 6 or 7, occasionally gale 8, rain or showers, moderate or good. Malin, southerly 5 or 6, rain or drizzle, moderate or good. Hebrides Bailey, south or southeast 6 or 7, rain or showers, moderate or good. Fair Isle, southeasterly veering southwesterly 4 or 5, occasionally 6 later, rain at times, moderate or good. Faroes Southeast Iceland, southeasterly 5 or 6, occasionally 7, rain later, moderate or good. Now the weather reports from coastal stations for 1 week.
I like rum. Oh, what I've done is comforting, like drinking sugar. Rum. A seaman's drink. I was reading over there, they used to mix rum with water to keep it fresh. I've always found my rum keeps perfectly fresh without any water in it. I don't like water. Never have done. All my life I've had this terrible fear of it, and it's funny because it's always haunted me. When I was a child, I'd never had my hair washed. They had to hold me down to do it. I used to scream blue murder. The police were called so regularly they gave up coming in the end. Our local Bobby just said, Saturday night, screams from West Street, Jack Tinker must be having his hair washed again. I never did learn to swim. Even now the fear of drowning is so big I daren't take a bath. I wash standing up in a bucket. Safest way. Feet firmly on the ground, head above water. Anyway, all that sitting about in water just makes my knees hurt. Arthritis. Arthur was very nearly my middle name, but then my father preferred Albert, same as him. Jack Albert Tinker. Praise the sea, but keep on land. That's my motto. It can get very lonely. Sometimes I don't see a soul for days on end. Or a person, for that matter. It's a bit like being marooned. I get here after everyone's gone home. I leave before anyone arrives. Just the smell of the tourists lingers. At night, there's just the echoes. And the odd spirit or two. I'm not really lonely. The figureheads are my friends, and good friends they are too. They don't argue. There's Dolly, Dottie, Sarah, Jan. Dolly's the musical one. She plays the harp. Very fine bit of carving. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She's an angel. Perfect mascot for superstitious sailors. Dottie wouldn't bring anyone much luck. Her ship ran aground on the second voyage and was wrecked on the fourth. I call her Dottie because of the way she looks. She's not quite carved right, a bit cross-eyed. Sarah's the sensitive one. She sings to Dolly's playing. She's a siren, sitting on the rock, singing with a voice so beautiful that all who hear are drawn to her. She's the kind of woman to have on the front of your ship, mistress to all of the crew. If I'd ever married, then Sarah would be the woman for me. Dark hair, faraway eyes, and a most mysterious smile. Jan's just private, a bit fierce and secretive. She's the emblem of a gunship, dark and threatening, but a good friend nonetheless. Sarah's my favourite, absolutely. She holds a horse's tail in her hand. Of course, that's just when the ship's in port. I amuse myself. I make up stories. Invent people, too. God knows where they come from. I just close my eyes. My last job was a fishmonger. I hate fish. I really hate fish. They just lie there on the slab with their eyes staring up at you. They're bad enough when they're alive, but when they're dead, the smell! That's the worst part of being a fishmonger, stinking of fish all the time. It's embarrassing. If I went to a party, I could see people sniff the air as I walked in. All the perfumes of Arabia wouldn't wash the smell of fish from these hands. Stinking fish. And there's so many of them too. There's halibut, haddock, herring, hake, pike, pilchard, perch, plaice, cod, kipper, coley, fish cake, sturgeon, sprat, salmon. Lovely bit of salmon there. Skate, monkfish, nunfish, angel, gefilte, shark, barracuda, pike, piranha, stingray, electric ray, sardine, guppy, dogfish, catfish, kitten, puppy, mousefish, ratfish, anchovy, tuna, swordfish, cuttlefish, starfish, luna, jellied eel, prawn, shrimp, clam, marlin, mussel, cockle, crab, whale, whelk, winkle, oyster, calamari, octopus, limpet, lobster, red snapper, milkfish, blue and grey mullet, all gutted, all boned, all shoved down the gullet, all day long, slitting and filleting. And then at night they'd return. I'd dream I was hosing down the shop, when the water would fill my Wellington boots, stretching, expanding. The water would reach my waist, my chest, my neck. I'd be trapped underwater inside my boots, holding my breath, my ears buzzing, my eyes popping out of my head. I'd open my mouth to gasp for air and wake up in a cold sweat. I very nearly drowned in my own bed. After that, I couldn't face the fish anymore. I didn't want to take the risk. I ended up here, of all places. I mean, some of the things they've got in here. Over there, there's a ship's biscuit, a sailor's sock with a hole in it, and a piece of rock that's supposed to be a historic lump of cheese. I mean, what is all that doing in a maritime museum? This case at the back gives me the creeps. It's punishments. I mean, why do people want to keep things like that? It's morbid, if you ask me. I like the maps and the models best. You can see the endless hours of skill and concentration. This little ship, I call her the Nation Racer. She's a merchant, a clipper, with a few cannon, just in case. Built at Rotherhithe, sailing from Plymouth under Captain Morgan, with a crew of 50, men and boys. A cargo of carbines, bound for the China Seas. I see little figures on her sometimes. I hear them. The captain quietly gives the order to put on more sail, and it's passed on through the boatswain to the rest of the crew. Lower topsail, topgallant, mizzen, royal, set jib and flying jib, scrub the necks, polish the brightwork, stow the hammocks, lash the This is the one. Now let's take a look. No reefs, no wrecks, no sirens or rocks. By sun and star our course I'll decide. With compass and sextant, the heavens be our guide. Allowing for drift and the currents here, we'll run the wind south by southeast, we'll steer, chased by gonies and gullies and birds of the sea, that are not birds at all, it appears to me, but the spirits of mariners living again. Those birds as they dip and pluck fish from the deep are the souls of the drowned returned from their sleep. No more to stand watch or pray in a gale, or curse the foul food, or lash down a sail, or tattoo a whale tooth, or tattoo an anchor. Freed from the service of spinnaker and spanker, old Admiral Albatross settles and dips. On wings, stead of sails, he inspects the ship. Then follows behind to advise from the rear. It's Rear Admiral Albatross the sailors all fear. Superstition and tales is what sailors are taught. Navigation's the science that will bring us to port. God willing, the voyage will be smooth and easy. Boy, fetch the bucket, I'm feeling quite queasy. There are 4 boys on this ship, barefoot and poorly clothed, running for grog and ale for the men, emptying the tubs of tobacco spit, climbing to the highest sails, running for ammunition and powder, serving the meals, emptying the slops, helping in the galley, cleaning and polishing, fetching and carrying, serving and clearing. Always the last to be fed. An exhausting life learning the ropes. That's where the expression comes from the sea. My mother used to use it a lot. You got to know the ropes, she'd say. It's a funny thing. My mother was always very keen on lifeboats. It was a thing with her. She was very concerned about people drowning. Not drowning, if you see what I mean. Seems she started just after I was born, standing around with a collecting tin for the Lifeboat Institute. It's a thankless task. She was a dab hand at it. More than 40 years she collected. In the end, she was organising concerts and all sorts of events. She must have paid for several boats. Died in her sleep, bless her. We knew the end was near. She'd been weak for days. The evening she went, I was sitting with her. She stirred a little, looked at me as from very far away and said, "Know the ropes, boy. Stay on deck, boy. Don't go below." That was the last thing she ever said to me. The boys on this ship, one serves the captain, the other 3 the crew. I've grown very fond of one of them. I've given him the same middle name as me, Albert. John Albert Taylor. He always wanted to go to sea, but he worked cleaning pots in his father's tavern. When the water's warm and there's lots of soap like the foam on the sea, round a big white boat when the sun shines down and the sails are set, Captain Captain Taylor walks the deck. So we set sail. As captain, when I give my order, everybody runs to obey. Scrub the decks, raise the sails, bring me a buttered bun with jam and tea. From the crow's nest comes a cry, "Monster ahoy on the starboard bow!" A sea monster rises from the deep, angry that the anchor landed on its head and woke it from its sleep. A giant octopus snatches up a sailor and swallows him whole. The crew are terrified. They tremble in the scuppers, but brave Captain Taylor steps forward, his cutlass in his hand. "Tell me, O octopus, I begs, is those things arms, or is they legs?" With a hack, slash, stab, he beats the beastie back and provides dinner for everyone, including the ship's cat. The journey was long and hard. We sailed round the world so many times, we got giddy. Then one calm and sunny day, we sailed home, and to great cheering, I was knighted by Her Majesty. When the water's warm and there's lots of soap like foam on the sea, round a big white boat when the sun shines down and the sails are set. When I first left home, I was a deck chair attendant. I cared for those deck chairs. I was like a shepherd with his sheep. In the morning, I'd let them out to graze, or at least be sat on. In the evening, I'd walk the strand, rounding them up. I cared for my flock with loving care. I was proud of them, making sure they were comfortable and sturdy. All day long I'd sit outside my hut, soaking up the sun. I thought I'd be able to attract a girlfriend by getting myself beautifully bronzed. Dolly, Dottie, Sarah and Jan went to the beach to play in the sand. Dolly discovered a shell whose sound made her forget all the world around. Dottie was chased by a creature so foul she had to hide her head under a towel. Sarah lay languidly at the edge of the sea, lost in a silent reverie. Jan discovered a perfect round stone, a precious new treasure for her eyes alone. Whoever we are, whoever we be, it's certain we'll find ourselves at the sea. All that happened was I went bright pink and got a headache from the sound of the waves. Late one afternoon, I was collecting up broke deck chairs when I saw a group staring at something in the water. I went to investigate. was a body, a young man, about my age, washed up on the water's edge. I didn't like to look at him, but stood there entranced, staring at his swollen face, his bulging, bloodshot eyes, his bloated body. I remember the purple nails and the wrinkles on his swollen fingers, those hands that would grip no more, his dark nostrils and lolling tongue. The only sign of movement, his hair washed by the lapping of the waves. Someone must have called an ambulance. The police. I watched him carried away. Questions were answered through a shroud of numbness. There was nothing I could say. There was nothing I knew. I made my way home, went to bed, pulled the sheet over my face and stayed there for 3 whole days. What makes someone decide to leave home? We all have to do it sometime. And it's made worse by believing you're the only person ever had to, when really you're not the first, and you won't be the last. It's all been done before, you see. Still, the big day comes, you leave. Whether by design, accident, or as an act of passion. Passion, yes. Passion for something you really believe in. You need passion. Like my friend John Taylor, he had a passion for the sea as big as my dislike of it. When the water's warm and there's lots of soap like foam on the sea, round a big white boat when the sun shines down and the sails are set. One hand for the ship, one hand for yourself. Docked and anchored, paid and displayed. Boy, bring grog and victuals for the boatswain of the Nation Racer. Just a minute, lad. Another jump. Yes, Captain. Tell me about the ship, the places, the ocean. Is it true? Elephants as big as houses, whales bigger than ships. Take me with you, Captain. I'm old enough. Take me on your ship. So you dream of being at sea, do you, lad? You'll be scrubbing the decks and polishing the bright work. You know the ropes? You stay sail from a crowjack? You won't shirk your duty that you're doing now, or you'll feel the boatswain's starter on your back. I'll tell you a tale of the sea, my lad. Would you join my ship where a man can go mad? When there's no breath of wind that would move a sail, and the ocean's as calm as milk in a pail for days on end till nerves are burned. Tempers burst and punishments earned, locked in irons with a rope to unplait, and re-knot to make your very own cat. No pet, lad. This one's got 9 tails. It's dipped in tar to make it hard, then taken on deck in a bag of green while you're bound and gagged to smother your
dream. The cat from the bag is slowly shown and greeted with a quiet moan. With full force blaze across your back, bare flesh rips open at the very first crack. The crew look on and wince to a man, but daren't look away, for that is banned. All must bear witness, and after 12 switches, the cat's thrown overboard to go chase the fishes. You're dragged below where the surgeon is dealing, rubbing salt in the wounds to help with their healing. Would you eat your own shipmates? Would you drink your own water? Would you jump ship and lie with a foreigner's daughter? Would you find yourself dragged back in irons to the captain? Would you take your punishment tied to the capstan? Or do you just dream of whales so large they're mistaken for islands by many a barge? The sailors tie up and set foot ashore, and even light fires, though they'll do that no more. For the beast, though it's huge, can still feel a flame, and plunges below to the depths once again, taking barges and sailors and all of the crew to the bottom of the ocean. Is that what you do? Lower topsail, top gallant, mizzen, royal, set jib and flying jib. Scrub the nets, polish the brightwork, stow the hammers, lash the cargo! Set sail, 29 September 18. Get aloft! Set the tops! Lover of waves, teaser of tides. I am the breeze that refreshes the sailors. I am the tempest that claims their lives. At 2 bells, 4 men to the galley. At 4 bells, 8 men trim the sheets. At 6 bells, 12 men chew to the heat. At 8 bells, 16 men can sleep, but not you.
reported for duty aboard the Nation Racer, a ship so beautiful and tall, and all I've ever wanted to be, a sailor on the sea. My father, Arthur Albert Taylor, when he was young he was a sailor. When I was a babe I'd taste his rum, sucking from his dipped thumb. He didn't want me to make this trip. I ran away to join the ship. When I go home he'll be proud of me, a sailor returning from the sea.
There's a ghost ship that sails on the ocean at night, manned by skeletons that glow in the moon's pale light. All that see her remember the sight, telling tales and yarns filled with fear and fright. When you're lying becalmed, you feel through the mist the wailing and moaning of souls not at rest. She appears. You're surprised she doesn't go under. She's holed and wrecked. It's really a wonder till you realise she floats on the wind.
Her sails are tightly stretched sailors' skins, tattooed with a rope entwined in a swirl. Each one has the name of a sweetheart or girl. The rigging is entrails that ooze and drip. I'll tell you, this vessel is a devil's own ship. From the hold issues smells unbelievably vile. Your shipmates vomit.
The skeletons smile. The captain, whose head is removed from his neck, can watch his own back as he paces the deck. Your mouth gapes, your eyes open wide.
The spectre comes close, ties up alongside. From every door, porthole and hatch issue tentacles, suckers, limbs that catch and snatch on you and the rest of your crew, clawing, snatching, leeching on you till you think you are crazy, going insane.
Or suffering from fever infecting your brain. With a mighty crack and a terrible roar, the spectre takes off, flies and soars, spins far, far away, out of sight, leaving you trembling in the still of the night.
Don't shirk your duty, lad, or you'll feel the boatswain's starter on your back. I close my eyes. I can see them let go fore and aft, trimming the sails, setting the craft, with a cargo of carbines, rifles we're laden, to be traded in China for silk and opium. Sailing from Plymouth, the weather was fair. I remember the breeze that ran through my hair as the boatswain gave orders to get up aloft, and we flew up the rigging to set the tops. I remember the line of the captain's jaw as he checked his compass night and morn. The smell of the gruel, the curse of the crew, the brown gobs of baccy that every man chewed. The thrill of standing at the head of the mast as the mighty ship rolled through the ocean so fast, the dolphins that played and chased alongside, the thrill, the excitement, the wonder, the pride. And the day the fresh water started to sour, the stew became thinner, though thickened with flour. The sky became cloudy, the water grew darker, seemed deeper, greener, colder, starker. And the mood of the men took an ominous turn, though I tried hard to please every man that I served, from the cook in the galley to captain at dinner, whose mood was as black as a hell-bound sinner. Now the storm gathered, and the men all took fear, and the sound of prayer I'd most commonly hear, as the wild waves loomed overwhelmingly tall, and our ship, like a cork, was tossed in the squall. A man who was working the ropes lost his grip, in an instant was washed clear of the ship. For a moment I saw him, and then he was gone, and the boatswain was calling, "Hold on, lad, hold on! One hand saves yourself, one hand works the vessel. God guide and protect, sweet Jesus, please bless all." But his prayer was cut short by a call from below, for the bucking had broke loose all we had stowed, hurling in a heap from helm to stern. Rope snapped asunder, the galley burned, seas struck from behind, smashing the gear. All hands to all stations! All driven by fear. Still ever stronger rose the sound of the gale. The waters wilder, the men more pale. I dashed below where our cargo once stashed was now free and flying. Timbers were smashed. "Lash fast those crates!" the boatswain screeched. The reply came from forward. "Look out, lads, she's breached!" No time to act. Hurled on my back. Cases on top of me. Legs pinned, untrapped. Men rush out as oceans gush in. Struggle and wriggle. God help me, I'm pinned. In panic as waters and cables combine. Our ship now a coffin in which I'm confined. Holding my breath, fighting for life. The sounds are distorted. Like an eel I rise. My lungs are bursting. The bubbles ascend. One breath of water, the ordeal ends. The rocking of the ship soothes and subsides. Fishes nibble at my sides. Suddenly I am released. No pain and floating free. I'm looking back and I see me. My empty body crushed and floating. I see me sink, but feel me floating. Above the ship, above the sea, above the earth, I'm free, I'm free. The birds and gulls now I pass so high, and hover before a shimmering light. So powerful and strong it burns, I don't go on, I must return to ship, to earth, to the excitement. I hesitate, undecided. Then plunging, diving, faster, faster, into darkness, into water, into a safe and curled retreat, and a steady, throbbing beat. this bottle, when it's empty, I'll probably throw it away when it's empty. Someone else might put a ship in it. Might even end up here, in a maritime museum. Like me.